What do you think?
These are pretty fun.
Yeah, they look snappy and energetic.
Yeah, they whip right around.
Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. How's it going?
Welcome back to our Chairlift Chat video channel. Been a little while since we've done one of these ski reviews. You may have picked up on why. If you follow us on YouTube, you probably did notice we just dumped 200 videos onto YouTube. And those are all content in the 2020 ski test results that we just released. So pretty exciting stuff. Bob and I both work on the ski test quite a bit.
Yeah.
From writing to video editing to the initial conceptualizing and planning and filming and all that stuff. So really exciting for us to see it published and out there.
Yeah.
People are already commenting on it. We've got some really good questions on certain skis so far. 220 skis this year.
It's a lot of skis.
That was a lot of skis. I think we had 149 last year, so a pretty significant increase in the amount of skis that you can learn about. We added a couple brands. A lot of people were asking about Black Crows over the past year or so. So put Black Crows in there. We are a Black Crows dealer now too, which is exciting. A couple other new brands in the ski test as well. So I invite you to check that out. But that's not necessarily all that we're here to talk about today. Today is our first more in-depth review in a little while, and we are looking at this Deacon 84 behind me. So, Bob, you've skied it quite a bit. We've both had a chance to ski it, luckily in some varying terrain and at different mountains, which is kind of exciting. But yeah, Bob, what can you tell me about this new ski from Volkl?
It's great. You know, they're replacing this RTM 84, which has been, you know, a staple of that front side all mountain category for, I think I looked it up, I think it was 2012 was the first RTM 84. So almost 10 years later, we're finally giving it a new name. The Deacon series, as of last year, took over the Code series as their front side carving ski. And they've switched that Deacon name to, you know, encompass the whole RTM line. So there's no more RTM, it's all Deacon. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for your new skis. If you're used to looking for RTM, look at Deacon. Stick to the same waist width if you're looking at it. Just a quick note, the 84 is the widest now. No more RTM 86. And then it goes to 80. And then 79, which is a slightly different construction. And then it kind of goes back to the ones of last year, the 76 and the 74, which are more race construction.
Which, when we actually sat here, I want to say just about a year ago exactly, and talked about that Deacon 76.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that, there is, we do have some content out there on that. Anyways.
Yeah, back to the 84. They have made kind of a hybrid this year with their Titanal frame technology that they used on the M5, the Mantra M5, and now in the Kendo 88 and the ladies' versions of those skis as well.
Mantra
102. So this Titanal frame technology, which puts the metal around the edge and the tips and tails, puts a lot more emphasis on edge control and precision of the ski. The hybrid version is they've kept the 3D ridge. So the 3D ridge in the RTM 84 of last year is still there, but with the Titanal frame, the sidewall has gotten thicker, and the 3D ridge looks like it's more recessed into the ski. So these RTM 84s and the 81s of yesteryear, it doesn't stick out as much. So it's still there, it's just integrated into the ski more.
Yeah, you can actually feel, like in this portion of the ski, it's raised in the middle, and then as you get to the tip, it's like that 3D ridge. That's where it really becomes recessed into the ski, and you can feel that Titanal frame. I think visually it's very interesting because the tip of the ski looks very much like an M5 Mantra, just in construction. And then as you get back into the kind of mid-body of the ski, you start to see that, at least, inspiration from that construction.
Yeah.
Taller sidewall, too, on this. That's something that you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, the sidewalls on the RTMs and other 3D ridge like the 98 and the 108 were thinner sidewalls. gave you more playfulness in the turns. And then with the thicker sidewalls and the Titanal frame, you're getting more power and precision to the edge because that metal is right over the edges.
And then we've got a new, not new, we've talked about it before, but a new kind of shaping concept that we didn't see in the RTM, that 3D radius.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. They've put that in not only these skis, but also the Kendo 88.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit in the Kendo 88 review. Kind of to summarize, I think that the specs that they list are interesting. So they say that this is in the tip a 24 meter radius, underfoot a 15 meter radius, and in the tail a 21 meter radius.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And I think that's really the major new construction and design changes compared to these RTMs. How do you think they skied?
They ski great. You can, when you get on that Titanal frame, you understand why it's a good fit with the that front side all mountain ski. It works in the mantra. It gives that mantra, a ton of power, and it works really well on these 84s. You get that narrower, more torsional, stiff feeling, and it really hooks up from tip to tail. So if you like the carving ability of the RTM 84s, it's improved on the Deacon. And in terms of that 3D side cut, you can feel it more. It probably took me 2 runs to get used to. And
I kind of felt the same way on the Kendo. It takes a second to kind of
takes a minute.
Figure it out.
But all it really means is the harder you drive the middle of the ski, the shorter your turns are going to be. So if you're varying turn shapes, which a lot of us like to do, go from longer radius to shorter radius, it's a very seamless transition and a very natural feel. So that 3D radius does make a lot of sense, especially in a ski like this, where you are making a lot of different turn shapes.
Yeah,
so
no, that stood out to me on the Deacon 84. I think it's something that you can feel on the Kendo 88 and on the wider skis that use that 3D radius too. But for me, I don't know if it's the waist width or the construction, but I felt like these really, really responded well to different skier input, and you could really, 15 meter turn is pretty small. Yeah. So, if you really achieved that quick mid-body turn, is really pretty impressive stuff. Pretty responsive too.
But it's not twitchy like a 15 meter radius ski can be, especially at higher speeds. Yeah. And that's where the tip and tail longer radius comes into play. Yeah. Is you can, by not pressuring it as much, make that ski carve longer radius turns. Yeah. And it doesn't want to dive in. It doesn't want to hook up. It'll do what you want it to do. Yeah. So it works really well at higher speeds, where some other carving skis with shorter overall radius are hard to get up to higher speeds. They just want to turn. Now, I know the first time that you skied these, and I know this because I was following you with a camera, the conditions were less than ideal. I think that brings up an interesting point about these skis. RTM stood for, or stands for, Ride the Mountain, which, is suggesting more than just a carving ski. Yeah. It's really like an all-mountain ski. Go ride the whole mountain. As these replace that, I think it's important to talk about their all-mountain ability. Yeah. You skied them, like I said, you skied them in some kind of iffy, choppy snow conditions. I think they feel better as an all-mountain ski than the RTM does. I'm interested to get your input too. But I think a lot of that comes from, and something that we glossed over in the beginning, there's a new binding system. Yeah. So they call it Lowride. And essentially, the binding, it is still an integrated system binding, which is something that some companies are getting away from, but Volkl's almost like doubling down on it. You've got these long channels where the binding sits, so it's got really good power transfer. And overall, it's lower center of gravity than we've seen in really just any system ski I can think of. Yep. And definitely any previous Volkl system ski or any of the RTMs. So all that said, how do you think it did when
when the groomers weren't perfect.
Yeah, it was great. They, you know, the lower you are to the ski, the better snow feel you have. For better or for worse, you know,
Yeah.
that day it was ice, you know, ice chunks. Couldn't really get good purchase into it. But you could still feel where your feet were on the skis, a good balance point, and it worked really well with the rest of the construction.
Yep.
And, you know, like you said, they still have, these rails are built right into the ski.
Yep.
It's not a plate that's drilled onto the ski and then the binding is attached to it.
Integrated
It's
into the
integrated
ski.
into the ski. So, you know, that really cuts down on, you know, lost energy. It's a very
Yep.
efficient way to get energy from your boot to the ski.
Yeah, among system bindings out there, this is easily one of
Yeah.
the best.
Yep. Yeah, it's built right in.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
That's the Deacon 84. Definitely really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just, to summarize, and in general, I think it's really cool that Volkl has taken, you know, they basically like went to the drawing board and were like, all right, what have we done that works?
Yeah.
And picked those things and then just kind of smashed them together. And when I skied it, that was my initial response. I was like, man, they really like everything that I've liked in other skis, they've kind of combined into this ski. And I think it's a winner for sure.
Yeah. Yep. And if you like this old RTM, it's an improvement for sure.
Yep, hands down. And those are still great skis.
Yep.
And you'll probably see some RTMs still kicking around because there have been a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. Good
So
selling
there
ski.
will be some deals to be had on RTMs, which is cool because normally that was something that was usually went for a pretty high price tag, and then they were often sold out in the popular models. So Deacon 84 takes over the RTM collection. 2020 ski test results are live. Anything to add, Bob?
Leaves are changing here in Vermont.
Yeah,
It's starting,
it's pretty
you know,
crazy.
late August, and there's some
Yeah,
few colorful trees here.
it's getting
and there.
cooler at night too.
Feels
Had to put a
good.
sweatshirt on this morning. It's pretty exciting.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see you on the slopes in a couple months, and until then, we will keep checking back with more videos.
Bye.
Sweet.